Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Amin here. I'm so excited to finally get this video out because it has taken months to make, but I'm really happy that I had this experience. And so today we are going to be talking about a fitness challenge of sorts that I embarked on starting in February of 2025. And I kind of wanted to walk you through my experience and kind of some of the background of why I decided to start this fitness challenge. So we're going to be a little bit vulnerable. We're going to talk about my health, some of the motivations that led me down at this path. And I also wanted to bring a perspective of somebody who maybe doesn't look conventionally healthy or conventionally thin. And I know there's a lot of discourse online about different types of weight loss techniques, and that was not the purpose of this video. So if you're looking for like a very quick way to lose weight or look a certain way, a certain body type, that is not what I'll be talking about. But if you are interested in learning how to create a healthy balance and maybe look for different ways that you could implement this into your routine and just trying to maintain your overall health, then definitely keep on watching. The reason I started on this journey was because I was diagnosed with prediabetes last year. And with that diagnosis, honestly, came a lot of self-blame and shame. And I have talked about it in therapy. I'm feeling a lot better about it now. There is diabetes in my family, so it wasn't like a total shock, but I think given my age and the fact that I usually live a pretty healthy lifestyle, I've always been active my entire life, from playing sports to when I was a child, to being a teenager, always being physically active, like being at the gym multiple times a week. I was very shocked when my blood work results came in and showed that I had prediabetes. So I went down the spiral of like blaming myself for everything that had happened in the years before that. And another thing to keep in mind is that it's not just exercise and food. There are so many other factors that impact someone's blood sugar, and I didn't realize that either. But I was the one who basically initiated that conversation because I felt like something wasn't right in my body. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about my experience with that. If you guys want a separate video on pre-diabetes and kind of my journey, my diagnosis, and some of the things that I've done to try to maintain that, and I haven't been successful, I haven't reversed it, but if you want another video on that, please let me know. One of the things throughout this journey, of course, the diet is something new that I'm learning and I'm trying to figure out. Another thing that I've been learning is the exercise portion of it, so the physical activity side of things. There are different types of activities that are more suitable for people that are more sensitive to changes within their blood sugar. And I didn't know about this either, but it makes a lot of sense if you think about the way our body works. And so one of my best friends is actually a diabetes nurse educator, so she helped me with a lot of information. And one of the things that's been coming out is low impact exercises are best for people with predispositions or glucose sensitivities. And so I embarked on this journey to see exactly what my body's reaction would be like to certain exercises. And also I was feeling very unmotivated, partly because of the diagnosis and partly because I, had a few life changes, pretty big life changes recently. And so my routine that I used to have just wasn't working anymore. So I went into this fitness challenge. I got myself actually a glucose monitor. So I had a 2-week trial with a glucose monitor, and I started out saying, okay, let me try different activities to see what spikes my blood sugar. So that was the first initial reason that I did it, and also because almost every activity that I tried throughout this video was actually used through ClassPass. And this is not sponsored, but I totally wish it was, because I love ClassPass. It has changed my life, even though it's only been like 2 months since I started using it. All of the activities that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, I did completely free. So every single one of them, I got a free trial through ClassPass, or actually some of these studios offered a first class free on their own. It was truly experimental, and I have to say, like I said, my life has changed, and I am now a paying ClassPass member. So I'm not going to try to convince you obviously to use it, but if you feel inclined throughout the video to try out ClassPass yourself, I will put a link in the description where you can also get a free trial. So like I said, I started off with this glucose monitor, but I only had a 2-week trial with the monitor, and so a lot of this video actually is beyond the 2-week period. I pretty much made this entire video over, I want to say about 7 to 8 weeks. So it was like a long time, and if that makes sense why the video is so long. I am an oversharer, I am a yapper, so I will talk a lot, and even throughout the clips of each of the activities you'll see me talk a lot as well. As the video progresses, you'll see I get more comfortable filming in these classes, but most of them I didn't feel comfortable filming necessarily the actual activity itself, and all of these classes were group classes, so that's something that I'm not really as familiar with. So my regular routine is essentially yoga once a week, I go to Zumba once a week, and I also have been weightlifting pretty much my entire adult life. That's my usual routine, and the yoga is still very new. I'll talk about that in a bit as well. Again, this is a very vulnerable video for me to be sharing, and I hope that you guys find it helpful and enjoyable. Let's go through all of the different activities that I tried during this fitness challenge. The first activity that I decided to try was spin, and this scared me because spin seems a little culty. I don't want to say that, but people who like spin really like spin, like it's a part of their personality. And every single one of these group classes I went by myself. So these are all solo adventures, solo dates. I have a whole other video about just doing things by yourself and kind of enjoying that peace and quiet of getting to know yourself. Whole separate video, like I said, but let's roll the tape of me going to my first ever spin class. Everybody, I just finished my first spin class ever. That was not bad. Like in the moment, I was obviously in a lot of pain, but the 15 minutes went by really quickly. I think I would do it again, but I'm gonna be really sore tomorrow. So we will see how my body fares with this. But they were so welcoming, so nice. The instructor like checked on me a couple of times. I was, I think, the only first new person there. It's been 20 minutes since I finished. I'm still very sweaty, and I'm gonna have to wash my hair. Just waiting for my coffee. But yeah. Back in my car after getting my coffee at the cutest coffee shop. I am also vlogging. My freaking bag is stuck in my hood. You know what? I gotta drive without my jacket because I'm still so sweaty. I got a coffee after my class, and holy shit, I feel great. Like, it's been 30 minutes, so the class was from 8 to 8:50. It's now 9:20 a.m. and I'm out of breath still. I was sitting in the coffee shop waiting for them to make my drink, and I was still sweating. I had so much fun. One of the reasons why I'm doing this, I didn't really talk about it in previously, but I have been diagnosed with prediabetes. I probably talked about it when I started this video, but I've just been testing out a bunch of different things because my whole life I've been very active, and I just like kept feeling physically worse. I kept gaining weight, and I just didn't understand why. So I think this is the reason. I had to push my doctor to even do the test for me. It was a whole thing, but some exercises that actually increase your glucose levels, and then there are some that decrease it. So really what I'm supposed to be doing is like low impact exercises. So I just wanted to test it out. You know, the scientist in me was like, what does this really mean? Like, is it true? So I tested it out, but I left my phone in the locker, so it didn't connect to, I have a glucose sensor, like a glucose monitor on my arm, and so I left it, and so it didn't connect to my sensor because it was too far away. But I could see as soon as I got back to my locker that my blood sugar was higher than what it was before I started. So I'm assuming that it kind of like peaked and then went back down. So yeah, high impact activities do raise your blood sugar, and there's like a very fine line between doing activities that are like healthy for you but also mentally good for you. So I'm kind of playing around with that a little bit right now. Obviously it's my first class of many. You guys will see me as I try different types of exercises, but I have like this natural high. Like, I understand what like runner's high means. I understand now what like biker's high means, if that's even a thing, because I have so much energy, and I have not even really drank my coffee yet. I woke up at like 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday. Like, who am I? But I had so much fun. So I really love this place. I would recommend it. My butt is gonna be hurting tomorrow. I don't know how I'm gonna react physically to this later on, but I had a great time. So if you are thinking about doing something new and you're scared about it because you're gonna be alone, this is your sign to just go ahead and do it. And just put yourself out there, be uncomfortable, and just, you know, like, this is what life is about. It's about trying different things and finding out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to wait for anybody to do certain things. Anyways, I've been rambling a lot. I gotta go home now. I gotta wash my hair. Like, I thought I could really get through like another day or two because I just washed it, but the way I sweat in there, oh my god. And the person next to me was so nice at the end. They were like, is this your first time? And it was like an older gentleman, and I was like, yeah, my first time ever. And they were like, whoa, you did so great. And I'm just like, what? Because like I could see everybody else. I was in the back row. I could see everybody else and I could see the pace that they were going at, but I really tried to ignore that. And the instructor told me in the beginning, she was like, everything that I'm gonna say, like, they're all suggestions. You gotta do what you feel comfortable with. And she was like, just try some new things. Like, if I say something, just try to like the best of your ability, like to get up off your bike, to go down, and like stuff like that. And I tried it all to the best of my ability. Now that I'm home and I'm standing, my butt is in a lot of pain. Like a lot. It's going to be sore, I assume, for like a day or two, but oh my god, like, even if I, what's the word when you flex? If I flex my butt, it hurts a lot. So I was just giving Darman an update on my spin class. I thought you guys could listen to it as well. They give you this free shoe rentals. First of all, the place was small, like it was like the second level of like a building. It was small, but everyone was very nice. And they give you these shoe rentals because they're special spin shoes. I didn't know that. I thought they just put your feet in like, you know, the sockets of like a bike, the cycle. I thought you just put your shoes in the cycle, but then they sent me an email earlier saying like, don't bring anything other than water. Like, we have shoe rentals, so I didn't bring like running shoes or anything. But then they have these like really intense shoes, and like you like lock yourself in, which makes sense because you're actually like standing up and like sitting down and stuff, so you have to be like pretty secure. And yeah, the one thing I would not recommend, not for Darren, he's never gonna do this, but if you're gonna try spin and you have thick thighs like me, don't wear bike shorts, because my bike shorts were, my thighs ate them up. Like literally they kept rolling up and I had to keep pulling them down. And it could also be because these are newer shorts, like they're not my usual ones. The usual ones are in the wash, I think. But yeah, so I wouldn't wear these shorts again. But I felt like very powerful doing it, even though I was not going obviously as fast or as hard as everybody else, but I was still keeping up, which was great. Okay, one last thing about my experience, because I have a lot of thoughts, obviously. This is just day one, you guys, and you know I'm an oversharer. The other thing was, I know there are themed cycle or themed spin classes that are like, I can see on ClassPass, and the music in this one wasn't necessarily my vibe. The crowd was definitely older, so the music was just like geared towards, I think, what most people would like in the room. So in the future, I would love to do like a class that has music that I would enjoy. Like, I sent Dharm a screenshot. So Kendrick Lamar is like one of Dharm's favorite artists. And I sent him a screenshot, I think next week at another studio, there's a Kendrick Lamar night, which would be so much fun. Like anything like hip hop or Latin music, I feel like would be really fun. It was more like oomph, oomph, oomph vibes, you know? It was like, they were like remixes. I think there was one ASAP song that was remixed to be like oomph, oomph, which is fine, but it just like, I feel like if the music was like bangers, then I would have even more fun. And it would be really fun to go with friends as well, like really fun to take other people with me. Maybe I could, I don't know, we'll see. I definitely do think I'll do it again, and maybe not in the next 30 days. With the ClassPass, I can only try one class at the studio, so I can't go back with the current trial period that I have. If I were to sign up for a membership through ClassPass, or even with the studio themselves, which I don't think I would do because I don't really want to go too often. I think ClassPass would be a good idea, but we'll see. I'll give you guys my thoughts obviously towards the end of it. I'm happy to report that I actually have done spin again after this video. It was me chasing the high, essentially. It is insane. Like, I kind of want to die during the process, but afterwards I have this adrenaline rush, which is not good for your blood sugar, might I add. But you know what? There's always a balance in life. Like, you can't do everything just because it's good for you physically. Like, some of the things you want to do because it's good for you emotionally or mentally. And so there is a fine balance between the two of them. But I did go to spin again, and I do see myself doing it again in the future. Probably not frequently, because the soreness is so real. Like, the 1 to 2 days after spin, my butt is just not okay. Like my groin is not okay. But I do remember the first time that I did it, the pain was much worse. The second time that I did it, it was so much better. But I definitely will be doing it maybe probably once a month. The second activity that I tried was hot yoga. And this is something new for me because I've never tried anything hot before. I've never tried a heated class. Yoga I have been inconsistently doing for about 1 to 2 years. When I first started, I was not very good at it at all, and I recently got back into it maybe a few months ago at my local gym, and I have found, you know, there's been great improvements in my flexibility and just how easy it feels for me now. But if you know me, you may have noticed that I'm a sweaty person. I'm actually sweating right now. And so going to a heated class was something I was not looking forward to. It didn't take a lot of credits on ClassPass, so I was like, let me just try it. And that way I can say for sure yes or no if this is for me or not. This is going to be terrible lighting. I am aware. I look really bad right now. Does that make it better? I think it makes it worse. Let's try again. I think it's a little bit better. Okay. I just finished my hot yoga. I can't even drive home with my jacket on because I'm that sticky. It honestly was not hard per se, like compared to the yoga that I do regularly. It wasn't like challenging, the poses and stretches and stuff. I think it was more the heat that was really difficult for me. Like towards the last half of the class, I was literally slipping and sliding off of my mat. Like it was kind of embarrassing. Everybody was drenched. Like my shirt is completely drenched, you can't tell. Everybody was drenched, but I didn't hear anybody else slipping and sliding the way I was. So I had a good time. Like it was relaxing. I did feel like I could go deeper in my stretches. Like I didn't think, I was doing things that I didn't think I would be able to do, but also I just felt like okay to take more risk. I don't know why compared to my regular class. But yeah, I don't know if I would trade in my regular yoga class for hot yoga, just given my current condition and like how gross I feel. And they have showers and everything, but I prefer showering at home, and obviously I have to like wash my hair, and it just like looked really, it just looks terrible right now, which nobody cares about because everybody looks terrible. And the other thing, I made a major rookie mistake, is that I was wearing mascara today because I went into work, and I only wear mascara when I go to work, and I didn't take it off, and so that was mixing in with my sweat and getting into my eyes, and my eyes are very sensitive after I had LASIK a couple years ago. So my eyes are very red, and I was worried. I couldn't see, like the last half of the class when I was slipping and sliding, I could not see what was happening. Like it was blurry. I was like a little bit worried about how I'm gonna drive home. I'm okay now, but it feels nasty. So all in all, a good experience. I pushed myself, I put myself out there, I did something new, something I was scared to do, and I would do it again. I just don't think it's going to be part of my regular schedule. And she was very nice, the instructor. She was super kind, very gentle. I really like, this is going to sound weird, but she wasn't like what you think of as a typical, what like media tells you is somebody who is fit. So her body type was a little bit more similar to mine, and it just made me feel so much better seeing somebody that looks like you and isn't like conventionally thin doing exercise. And she was obviously hella flexible, but it just felt really nice. It felt validating in a way. But yeah, anyways, okay, time to go home. It's like my bedtime. I just got home and Darm looked at me and he was like, "You're looking well." So I tell him about my whole eye mascara situation, but made it home safely. This is the worst I probably ever looked in my life. I'm putting it up on the internet, so y'all better appreciate this. So after my experience with hot yoga, as you can tell, it's a no from me. I am way too sweaty of a person to do it again. It's not something that I enjoy. Once I did yoga outside in the summer, so we did like an outdoor yoga class. So putting myself purposely in a room full of other people where it's very, very hot is just something that's not enjoyable for me, so I will not be doing hot yoga again. But if you love it, I'm so happy for you. The next activity that I tried was barre, and barre is like a ballet inspired fitness activity. activity, and I feel like it's gotten really popular over the last few years or so. And so honestly, I was really nervous about this. You'll hear me talk about it because most of these very popular activities, I feel like everyone that does it has a certain body type. So I was very nervous about trying these activities. So let's go to my first bar class. It is Saturday morning at 9 o'clock and I am downtown because I am doing a bar class today. I think that's how you say it. It's my first time ever, obviously, doing this class. I am nervous as usual. It's like a ballet inspired fitness class, and I did take ballet lessons for like a really hot minute when I was younger. And I was like trying to figure out what people wear and like what it looks like. And again, I'm nervous because low-key worried I'm gonna be like the biggest person in the room and I don't have like trendy activewear and stuff like that. So just like other things I'm getting in my head about. And also the fact that this type of exercise, it just seems like really difficult, like, you know, using a lot of balance and movement and stuff, and I just like don't feel prepared to do it. But if there's anything I learned from this video is that I freak out before something happens and then I do it and then I have fun. So that's the goal for today, is to have fun, to try something new, and then I'm going to treat myself to a little coffee and maybe some breakfast or a treat after, because I actually love this neighborhood. It's my favorite neighborhood. It's Queen West in Toronto, and there's a lot of graffiti, and like Trinity Bellwoods Park is here, and one of my favorite cafes is here too. But the cafe has like this backyard area that opens up in the summer, so I don't know how it is in the winter. It's not a lot of seating space there. But anyways, all that to say, I have like 4 minutes before I'm gonna go, so I'm not gonna pay for parking yet until I leave, and then I'll catch you guys after I finish my class. That was really hard. That was honestly as hard as the spin class was. I wanted to pass out a little bit, but there were a lot of modifications. It was a really nice, welcoming environment. They gave lots of modifications. I took a lot of them. I was shaking like the entire time, and honestly that was one of the most difficult workouts I've ever done. I don't know if I would do it again, but the studio was really nice. Everybody there was pretty nice. Like, I had to ask some questions to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, and yeah, it was just a really difficult experience. But now I'm hungry. I feel rejuvenated but still a little bit hungry, so I'm trying to find some breakfast. Okay, just another thing I remembered is that it's kind of like a HIIT situation. Like, there's some cardio and then there's some like strength weight stuff, but cardio stuff is really fucking hard. As you can see, it was not an enjoyable experience. It was actually one of the hardest classes I have done this entire experience. It was not enjoyable for me, like, at all. And so it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best either. It's just not worth it for me to try again. So this is an activity that I will not be doing again. Now we are on to Pilates, specifically reformer Pilates. And I am happy to report, just to give you a bit of insight, I actually loved it and I do continue to do it. But before we get into all of that, just to give you a little bit of more information, I have tried mat Pilates before one time and I detested it. Honestly, because all the movements were so slow and intentional, it got me really in my head. Like, I was overthinking everything. I just didn't have a good time, so I thought I wouldn't like Pilates in general. But the reformer experience is so different, which you'll hear me talk about as well. And so I actually ended up doing a few different reformer classes for this video and even some more beyond. But let's talk about the first time I ever tried reformer. I am almost at the new Pilates studio that I'm trying because we are doing reformer Pilates for the first time ever. I am very nervous. Like, I was nervous for a spin as well, but something about Pilates, like reformer Pilates, it just seems like intimidating. And I think it's because, like, in my mind, there's a certain type of person that does Pilates, like reformer Pilates specifically, like a certain body type, and it just makes me nervous because I feel like I don't fit that picture, like, if I'm being very vulnerable and honest online. But I am looking forward to it, just to try something new and see what the hype is about, because everybody is doing reformer Pilates. And I did pick a class that was, it literally says beginner / absolute beginner. So I have never been on a reformer machine before. I'm excited to learn exactly how it works. Hopefully everything goes well. I will report back to you and see how everything goes, and if I like the studio, if I like the machine, if I like the class, we'll catch up in an hour. I just got back in my car and I got a little drinky drink. Obviously can't leave the house and not get a drinky drink. My hair is so messed up, but I loved it. I literally texted Arm and I was like, FML, I really liked it because it's a very expensive fitness class to keep up with. I barely sweat, which is kind of crazy because I sweat a lot, so it's not like high intensity at all, but the movements were actually killer. Like I was shaking. There's so much like core work that's involved, and I am clearly lacking in that department because I was just like not having a great time. Because it was a beginner class, like there was one other person, I think there were 8 people in the class in total, and there was one other person who had never done it before, and the instructor was very kind and like explaining how the machine works, and just like checking in on everybody, and they were like a really good balance of like assertive but also kind at the same time. Like they were pushing you, but they were not like coddling you in a way. I don't know how to explain it. And I think I really did get a good workout, and we'll see tomorrow how I feel. I was like probably the biggest person in the room, which I was worried about, but when I got there it didn't really matter. And the space was really nice. It was a very small, intimate space. Like there was probably 10 reformers in total, and so like everybody knew everybody, and it was really nice. Hi everybody, it's a few days later and I'm actually here to do another reformer Pilates class. I'm at a different studio and it is not a beginner class. It's kind of like a regular strength and stretch class, I think. And I just wanted to try it out, like get the vibe of a different studio and kind of see like if I really like it, and maybe even challenge myself a little bit. So that's what we're doing today. I am in the mood to have some movement because honestly I've been eating not great for the last few days. I've had like a few social things and like my birthday and just a lot of like family gatherings, and obviously we eat out a lot when you're doing stuff like that. So I'm excited to get some movement in and, you know, just like stretch it out a little bit. So I'll catch you guys in an hour when I'll be done this new class. I just finished that class and I'm in a great mood. I loved it. I literally just texted Darm and I said, I'm afraid I'm becoming a Pilates girl, because like, I don't know, it's just like, I guess like you can see the difference between the beginning of the class and the end of the class, like in terms of your flexibility. Like we did the same like movements in the beginning and the end to kind of compare our progress, and I just feel like so loose right now, and it's like stretches that I've never done before. And again, I've been doing yoga on and off for like a year or two, but I feel like this is more fun than yoga. I think it's partly because of the machine. Like if I didn't have the machine and I had to do this all by myself, like on a mat, which I've done before, it's like excruciating. And this is also excruciating. Like my core, I was shaking. I was literally shaking, but it was fun. Like I don't know how to explain it. The vibe of the studio was a little bit different. It's smaller for one. So the last one I went to was about 12 reformers, and I think there were maybe 10 people there. This time it had 7 reformers. There's only 4 people there, so it was kind of a personalized experience. And the instructor was so sweet. Like the last one I mentioned, she's right behind me. The last instructor, she was like a little bit more like kind of like pushing you, but also being sweet. And this one was just so sweet. She was just like so encouraging, and she was like, you guys look like you're professionals, you've been doing 100 classes. And it was just like so nice, especially because it's a Sunday evening, so just like have a good tone. I don't know how to explain it, but I had a great time. I will be back. It's a very expensive activity, like I mentioned, so I'm gonna have to figure out how I can do this in a financially stable way. But oh my god, my arm is hurting. I gotta go home. I'm starving. It's 6:30 and the sun is out, so daylight savings has started, whatever it is. We have sprung forward, and I'm very happy right now. Hi everybody, just checking in. I am going to my 3rd reformer Pilates class, and it's actually my last ClassPass class. I have 3 credits left, and I just don't have enough time to use them because today is the last day. I could have tried to go to like a yoga class or something because those are a little bit less in terms of credits, but it just didn't work out with my schedule, which is fine. I got a lot of use out of ClassPass. I'm definitely gonna keep paying for it, but I'll talk about that in the rest of the video. I wanted to do reformer again, so I think I'm going to start doing it about once a week. This is a completely new studio. It's a different location than the other ones I've been to. It's definitely a little bit more industrial, but the inside looks pretty. I see some chandeliers, so I'm going to go in, and it is Thursday evening, so I'm looking forward to like stretching it out and just having like a good workout before I go to bed and get ready for work tomorrow. So I am excited about this class. Let's see what the vibe is. I'm interested in trying different places, just see what the vibe is, and someone's looking at me, so I'm gonna go now. I'm just about to go shower, and I wanted to give you a debrief about my experience at this Pilates class. And I've had some time to like calm down and just like think over everything a little bit, because I didn't have a great experience and I just kind of felt like shit after. So number one, there was a few things with this class. So number one, the class I picked was supposed to be a flow class, so you're kind of like supposed to go from one movement to the next, but it ended up being more of like a sculpt class, which is like more like strength training, which would have been fine if I was mentally prepared for that. I was not. So I think like it might just be the instructor or like the way that they have scheduled their classes on ClassPass is not like up to date or something like that. So whatever, that was like one thing, right? The other thing I didn't like about the class, this is not the part that made me emotional, I'll get into that. The part that I didn't like about this class was that there were a lot of different tools that were being used. So like different, I don't know, like apparatuses, like apparati, I don't know. Like I used the circle thing, I used a stick, I used a squishy ball, and I used a weighted ball, plus obviously like the box and the reformer itself. So a lot of it was just like switching apparatus. I don't know what to call it. A lot of it was just like switching around rather than actually spending time on the reformer. I don't know how to explain it, but my other two experiences, like you were on the reformer the entire time pretty much, and if you were using something, it was like kind of to enhance the experience of being on the reformer. It wasn't to replace being on the reformer, so I didn't really like that. And then because we were using all of these different like tools, one of those tools that we were using was the strap, which I've used before, right? Like the hand strap, like I put on my feet before, put it on my hands before, except this time they wanted us to put it on our thighs, and I got big thighs. So I was having a lot of trouble, and I was the biggest person in the class, and I just like kind of felt like shit because I was struggling getting this strap up to my mid thigh, which is where I was supposed to have it, to the point where the instructor came to help me, and I think she said a comment, but I can't be 100% sure because I like kind of blacked out a little bit. I think she said, oh, you have a big butt, don't worry about it, like you have a big butt anyways, like you don't need this or whatever. And I was like, in my head I'm like, wait, did she just say what I thought she said? Because like, what if my goal is like, it just came out of nowhere, like that comment, and I was like, okay, even if I have a big butt, I still want to do the exercise. Like, what if I wanted to make my butt smaller? Not that I do. What if I wanted to increase like the strength in that area? Like, it was just weird like to say that. And then she tried to like, obviously she had to like help me put the strap on my thigh, but then she just stand next to me the whole time because it kept freaking slipping off. So I just was really embarrassed. Like at the end of the day, that's what I felt. I was like embarrassed, like I felt like a little bit ashamed. I was like, okay, like obviously I'm struggling and nobody else is. And it could also be like that because that class was not what I thought it was going to be. Like I don't feel like I'm ready to do like one of these like high intensity sculpt classes, which is why I haven't been picking them. So yeah, I kind of felt like not great about the whole experience. And then I kind of got in my head about like accessibility and inclusivity in these types of activities. I feel privileged enough that I can still do them, whereas some people probably don't even have the option of trying out some of these classes that I've been doing. On the way back home, I asked Siri like what is the maximum weight limit to even use a reformer machine, because I'm sure there is one, but Siri couldn't tell me because I was driving, so I'm gonna put the answer up here. But same thing like when I was looking for a walking pad for my like home, which I bought last year, a lot of the weight limits were kind of like very close to what I weigh, and so I was like, what if I gain weight? What if I get pregnant? Like I can't use this walking pad. And obviously, again, I'm very privileged that I don't have to keep a lot of these things in mind like every single day of my life. And that reminds me of something that I also noticed at my bar class. So at bar, they gave us like this resistance band, and the resistance band would not stay on my legs. Like I was super embarrassed because nobody else had difficulty with it kind of like staying flat on their legs, but it just kept rolling down my thighs. And then there was one other person who was in a bigger body than mine, and I noticed that they didn't even use a strap. So I think they've been to this class before. They probably knew it wasn't gonna work for them. But in my head, I'm like, why can't you guys just have like multiple straps? Like, you know, because I know I've bought in resistance bands before. Sorry, not straps, bands. I have resistant bands at my house. Like I've purchased them before, and they come in different like lengths depending on how much of resistance you want. So in my head, I'm like, why wouldn't they just have like multiple bands? Because like there's obviously a person here who cannot use this band. Like it's not gonna work for their body. That was a very big rant. I will not be going to that class again. Maybe, I don't know, like I don't think I'm gonna be trying out that place because I found other places that work for me a little bit better. But I do just want to bring in that perspective about my experience, that I am still considered like average size. So I do have these opportunities to try out these different activities, especially the ones where you're using different types of like machines or tools. I think that's where some of the barriers really become prominent. For example, like in yoga, you just need a yoga mat, right? Like you might use some things like maybe a block or something, but most of the time it's pretty inclusive. It's an inclusive activity. Something like Zumba, which I do every week, you don't need anything, you just need yourself, which is also an inclusive activity. And weightlifting, of course, you just need yourself, pretty inclusive. So I'm just thinking about all of these like activities where you need different equipment. That's the word, equipment. Where you need different equipment doesn't always mean that it's going to be available for everyone to use. And then the other thing to keep in mind is a lot of these classes, like Reformer, they're already very, very expensive. So like you're already like not including a large percentage of individuals who cannot afford to do an activity like this, even if they wanted to. And then on top of that, we're also like disqualifying people with bigger bodies and bigger sizes and shapes because they're not able to use these machines. So yeah, I felt like shit. Still got a workout in. Didn't enjoy myself as much as I wanted to. So now I'm gonna shower and I'm gonna have to like decompress a little bit and like read a book and go to sleep. But I was like willing myself like not to cry on the drive home. I'm not gonna let this hinder my progress. I'm not gonna let it hinder my drive and my excitement for finding things that I enjoy doing, because I really enjoy being physically active, and I did just renew my class pass. So I'm going to continue paying for it, and I just have to find things that work for me, and this is a journey. It's not where I thought this video was going to go, like at all. And now it's been 8 minutes and I'm sitting here on the toilet whispering to you guys because it's pretty late. The class ended and I had to like drive back home and everything. But I just wanted to give you like my honest raw thoughts and feelings, because that is the point of me making these videos, is that like kind of to give like a different perspective on something. So yeah. Next up, I have scheduled a pole dancing class, which I'm excited about, and also a boxing class. Like it's like a boxing like dance fitness type thing. So I'm excited about that as well. I actually loved reformer Pilates. So besides that one experience with that one studio that I have not gone back to and I will not be going back to, in general, most places are very, very inclusive for every single one of the activities that I did. It is something that I just wanted to point out because there are certain privileges that come with body sizes and body shapes, and you may not be aware of them or you might not think of them on a regular basis because we have that privilege. Besides all of that, even after I filmed this video, I continue to do reformer Pilates. I actually go once a week and I have never been to the same studio twice. So again, by using ClassPass, I've been able to try so many different studios. I absolutely love just trying out different studios and figuring out what is unique about each of them and what I like for each of them as well. So for example, if I'm, really trying to do more of a flow exercise, then I'll know, okay, I want more of a flow class and where did I like that experience? So I'll go there. If I wanted more of like a core class, because a lot of it is core, it is so hard. It's no joke. It looks like it's easy. A lot of these people make it look like it's easy. It is not easy, but like I said, I actually really, really like it and I have continued to do it and I will continue to do it. The next activity that I did was boxing. So this was a heavy bag class and it was something called rumble. So it wasn't actually boxing, not in the general sense of like hitting people or anything like that. So let's roll the tape. Hi everyone, this is a terrible angle, but I am on the way to try rumble boxing. If you haven't heard of it before, their slogan is like nightclub meets boxing. And I am exhausted. I literally texted Darm. I was like, never ever let me book a fitness class after a day I'm in office. And I always think like, oh yeah, it'll be convenient. Like, I can just go right after work, but no, I'm dead inside. But we're still gonna make it to this class because I have to use my free pass. It is R&B themed, which I think will be a lot of fun. I actually booked a class on the weekend and I don't mind traveling like further out or whatever the case is if it's on the weekend because I'm like more rejuvenated, but I had to cancel that class because something came up, and that was a Rihanna class, which also would have been fun. But I think R&B will be a good time. I don't even have the energy to be nervous. Like honestly, maybe I should be nervous, I don't know, but like it seems like the vibes will be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty dark, no one's gonna be looking at each other. I'll try to film if I can. I think you have like your own little space, so I'll try to prop up my phone if I'm able to. I'm low-key nervous because it is a cardio hit style, which is not my favorite. I'm excited to kind of just hear some music, get pumped up, and learn how to do some boxing, I guess. I don't know how much of actual technique there is involved in there. I'm also worried about my nails because they're pretty long right now, and I did they texted me to like say, hey, we noticed you signed up, like you haven't booked a class yet, blah blah blah, and I was like, honestly, I'm just worried about my nails. And they were like, oh, don't worry about it, like a lot of people have long nails. There's some equipment that you need, and for your first class they give it for you complimentary. So I guess like the hand wraps and the gloves, I was gonna pay for it anyways because I don't know how to do it and I just want them to do it for me. So yeah, we're on our way to try boxing, nightclub boxing, and I'll let you know how it goes. It's about an hour after my class is done. I went and I got a smoothie because I needed to take advantage of the fact that my parking cost $25 and it's kind of on me, like actually kind of. There's a bit of traffic when I was getting there, so I got there at like 5:20, and honestly I would have picked another parking spot, like I would have shopped around a little bit if I knew that it was going to be $25, but I didn't have the time because I only had 10 minutes left and you have to like do all the equipment stuff. So my phone keeps falling, give me 1 second. That might be better, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of equipment involved, so I didn't want to like risk it. So whatever, we paid the $25 and I got a smoothie so that I wouldn't feel shitty for paying $25 for 1 hour. But all in all, I had a great experience. Like, it's meant to be beginner friendly, but it's not really because they use numbers for all the different moves, and I was told the numbers like 10 seconds before I started the class. Actually, I think there is a video that is on their website that maybe I should have watched in advance, but I only know that because I did some deep digging into it. Like, it wasn't like readily available. So yeah, for me, I didn't really care that much if I wasn't really like following the instructions 100% well. Halfway through it, I kind of got the hang of it, like what the numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meant. But some of the sequences were like pretty intense, and the instructor didn't really encourage any accommodations. Like, part of it was like doing like HIIT stuff, so like, you know, planks and jumping jacks and whatever, like lunges, blah blah blah. And some of them I actually had to do accommodations for myself because it was like really hard. At one point I was like, can I even breathe? Like, it was a lot of like strenuous, like just like a lot of cardio essentially. So I just did my own like, you know, changes to things, and I don't really give a shit, but like if somebody actually gave a shit, you maybe wasn't as welcoming of an environment. But the vibes, 10 out of 10. Like, they played Usher and Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks. Like, it was just, the vibes amazing. I would definitely go again. I again had like that high feeling similar to after spin. But yeah, it was fun. I was telling Darm, like, because he does boxing but like with actual people. I don't know if he would like the music kind of thing, because he didn't really like dancing or music. But I feel like he would like the place. Like, the vibe is sick and their music is so good. So I'm definitely gonna be back. I'm still gonna just go back with class pass. Like, I don't think I'm gonna buy like a membership or anything, because they'll have pretty limited locations. So it would honestly be like kind of difficult for me to make it like a routine thing. But anyways, I had a great time. This is also one of the activities that I can see myself doing again, pretty similar to spin. I assume it's not great for my blood sugar, just considering the amount of exertion and the amount of calories in my heart rate, how incredibly high it went during this class, but it was so much fun. Again, I went on an R&B night, and I really think that music makes all the difference. So for spin again, and for something like Rumble, I would only go on days where it is a themed night, so it's music that I know I'm going to enjoy, because it makes the entire experience so much better. So I do see myself doing this again, and I think I would do it probably around like once a month again. So something like spin and boxing I could probably integrate into my routine occasionally. And the last class that I tried was pole dancing. So this was kind of a unique activity because I had never done pole dancing before. I knew from hearing from other people's experiences that it really is difficult, and it takes a lot of upper body strength. And again, I went to all of these classes alone, so I was nervous going into this class and not having any experience at all. So let's go to my last class that I tried, which was pole dancing. Okay, you guys, I just finished my last class for this video. It was pole dancing, and they actually gave us some time at the end to film your routine. I didn't have a routine, but I'll insert some of my moves that I learned. And the place itself was really cute. I have very sweaty hands, so I don't know if this is like a long-term thing for me. But in the beginning, I was kind of like nervous. It was only me and 2 other people like in the class, and they were a little bit more experienced. Like, it was still a beginner class, but like I was the only person who had never done it before. And the instructor was very sweet and like trying to accommodate everyone's different levels and things like that. But in the beginning I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna do this again. Like, I just kept slipping and sliding everywhere. But then I got a little bit more confident, and at the end I could do probably like 0.75 of each move. But I don't know, I feel like I would try it again. I'm just not like 100% in love with it right away, but I'm not opposed to it. So after experiencing pole dancing, I don't think I would go regularly. It was fun, but it was really, really hard. And it's just not something that I can see myself doing again. I would potentially explore other types of activities that studios offer. So a lot of them do like heels or other types of dancing. I know there's aerials. I don't think I would do aerials. But again, because I do Zumba once a week, like I feel like I have that part of it covered already. But it was fun. Like, if I ever have the opportunity to do it again, I would. I just wouldn't add it into like my weekly routine necessarily. But it was a great experience, and it was interesting to honestly experience how difficult it is, because when people are pole dancing, when you see like people actually doing it, they make it look so easy. But as you can see from me trying it, it was so hard. My arms were so sore. My entire upper body was actually very sore for like 2 to 3 days after, which none of the other fitness classes had made me feel. So I knew I would feel jacked if I continued to do pole dancing, but again, it just wasn't for me. So that concludes the different activities that I tried, all the different fitness classes, the group classes that I tried, and this experience, like I mentioned, has changed my life for the better. I absolutely loved trying all of these different activities, and like I mentioned, ClassPass gave me so many different opportunities to experience things I never even thought were an option. I absolutely love the app. I continue to pay for it. So after my trial ended, I actually ended up paying for a membership because I knew I was going to use it again. It ends up being more cost effective compared to me going with just one studio and paying for a membership on its own. And it also allows me to try so many different classes, and not even the studios themselves, but different types of classes, which I really, really like. Again, not sponsored by ClassPass, but I absolutely loved it. Check it out in the description below if you're interested in it. Another takeaway for me from this video was that you don't need somebody to do these activities. You can go on your own, and you can tell in every single activity. Before I went, I was really nervous, and part of it was just things that I made up in my head, you know, about what people should look like when they're exercising, you know, what you need to wear when you're exercising. But after I was done the activity, almost always I felt great. And so there is always that like small hill that you have to climb before you try something new, which is normal. It's natural to be nervous, but just give yourself the push and try it, and you never know, you might actually fall in love with the activity. So that's my second takeaway. And my third takeaway is that you need to find a routine that works well for you. So of course, my goal when I started out this video was trying to figure out what works best for my body in terms of spiking my blood sugar or lowering my blood sugar. And I did get some valuable information, of course, with the glucose monitor that I was using. But at the end of the day, that is only a piece of the puzzle. The rest of it is, what do I enjoy and what gets me moving? I know there are some activities that are not necessarily good or recommended for this new health condition that I have, but I really enjoy them, and for me, it's worth it to continue to do them at a moderate level. And throughout making this video, I realized that I actually wanted to find some clothing that made me feel confident, because I was noticing that a lot of the people's outfits were so nice, and so many people were wearing matching sets, especially for those really popular exercises like bar and reformer Pilates. Everybody was wearing matching sets, and so I thought to myself, okay, I want to be like everybody else. Where can I find flattering matching sets for my body type? So if you guys are interested, I made quite a few shorts trying different brands and different matching sets. You guys can take a look at that as well. But I'm really happy that this year has taken me down this fitness journey. I'm excited to continue making this type of content and even integrating it into my real life. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I will post more about my experience on there. If you have any other questions, please let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.